Hello, my tubies. Sheila True Love here with you. I'm laying down, I'm resting my body on this fine Saturday morning, and it feels so good. I don't know, maybe I'll go out later on because it's nice outside. I don't know. I'll see because I hardly ever get a chance to rest. Anyway, today's topic for discussion is why do women cheat? And we're here watching Fatal Attraction, episode 74. Yeah, I don't know what season this is, but the name of it is The Secrets We Keep. Okay? This is going to show you why women cheat. When I first saw this, I jumped to conclusions. I jumped to conclusions because I saw this female cheating. It seemed like she had the great life. Why would she do this? Anyway, let's watch, and you'll understand why women cheat.
John tells detectives that several more hours passed with no word from Marilyn, at which point John tried to file a missing persons report, but was told by police that it was too soon to do so.
A healthy adult who is only missing overnight is not something that would immediately put out the alert.
Sir, do you have any idea where your wife might have been going this morning if she wasn't going to work?
Something I think you need to know.
That's when John reveals a shocking secret about his wife.
Marilyn Brenson had been having an affair with a man named Dante.
According to John, the affair started shortly after Marilyn began working at the convenience store.
He worked on the cleaning crew, and he always seemed very mild-tempered, just kind of a smoothie, if you will.
So you're gonna let me take you out and quit playing all these games, huh?
You know I'm married, right?
This other guy wanted to be with her, but I don't think she was 100% sure on what she wanted to do as far as moving forward with this other dude.
Marilyn found the attention she was getting from Dante to be really exciting, and her relationship with John had gotten kind of stale by this point, so it was nice for her to feel that spark again.
There you have it, folks. Why do women cheat? Because this man is giving her attention that she's not getting from her husband at home. That's just one of the reasons. And as you continue to watch, you're going to learn even more. But it's like I was telling you in some of my other videos, when a man wants you, you notice how this guy stepped to her and he said, so when are you going to let me take you out so we can stop playing all these games? You notice what he said? When are you going to let me take you out? Not when are you going to let me come over, chill on your couch and watch Netflix? No. And when he invited to take her out, I'm sure she gets to pick the restaurant. And she should always pick a 5-star. And also, you notice how she told him straight up, you know I'm married, right? They don't care about no marriage these days. They really don't.
Whether it was a deep-seated attraction to Dante or simply a longing for something new, Marilyn eventually gave in to Dante's advances.
John Brenson found out about that affair and was very upset.
I think my sister told him what was going on.
What did you do?
Oh, we argued. I mean, a lot. I'm not even gonna lie. I even thought about divorcing her, but I figure we need to give his marriage a second chance.
Now you see how she told him. She wasn't being sneaky about it. She told him what she was doing. And like he said, he got upset about it. He even thought about divorcing her. He got a lot of nerve. Watch when you hear the true story of what's up with this character here. And he's talking about, I figured we should give this marriage a shot, a second. No, baby, let me tell you something. When you when you get married, you take vows. You make a vow to forsake all others. The moment you break that vow, it's no longer a marriage. It's now an open relationship. And the reason I say that is because in the Bible, God's word, adultery equals divorce. So once you stick your penis in somebody else, this marriage is officially no longer a marriage. It's now an open relationship. And anytime you're in an open relationship, it's not considered cheating. because you're supposed to be doing you and I do me. That's not cheating. It's open. You made it open. You destroyed this marriage.
John, I know, wanted to make it work still because he believed in the marriage to the end.
Yeah, right. That's what she believes. She's fooled because he believed in marriage to the end. That's not a marriage, like I said already. He wanted to make it work. No, he wanted to keep her around. He wanted to have his cake and eat it too. You'll see. John said that eventually he and Marilyn reconciled.
He did want them to go to counseling, and I know they did do that. He said it helped a lot of things.
How were things after that? Seems good. I woke up, she wasn't there, so I looked on the dresser and saw a wedding ring.
They said she left me for him. That's exactly what he thought.
Your wife's infidelity caused you to have thoughts of hurting her, killing her.
No. I love Mary. I'd never do that.
We didn't need to prove that.
We asked him for a buccal swab, which is our DNA sample, or something to physically eliminate him from the scene.
The detectives also take John's fingerprints and scrapings from underneath his fingernails.
He was 100% cooperative with us.
Not only did John willingly provide DNA samples to detectives, when investigators follow up with John's children, they corroborate his statement.
Some of the family members had informed law enforcement of the fact that Dante had been pressing Marilyn Brenson to leave John Brenson and run off with him.
The guy she was seeing had done something. That was the first thing that came to my mind.
Dante's obvious motive, as far as law enforcement's concerned at this stage of their investigation, is perhaps that he's wanting her to leave, but she maybe is unwilling to leave.
So you know you should run away with me, right?
I can't do that.
Come on, baby.
Oh, look, I can't leave my family. I have too much invested. Gotta go.
Therefore, he could.
Now, you notice how she said, I can't leave my family. I have too much invested. It's not about love, or it's invested. You know, you figure you gave up your best years to this, whatever. Why not just, oh, play me, please. This is not no goddamn marriage. It's a circus.
Be a suspect because he wasn't happy with the outcome of the relationship.
The next morning, detectives dig into Dante's records, and what they discover moves Dante from person of interest to possible suspect.
He lived geographically pretty close to where her vehicle was recovered. The fact that she has a relationship with this guy and the geographic proximity to the place where the vehicle was dumped, yeah, we were interested in him.
Armed with this new information, detectives bring Dante in for questioning.
So what is this all about? Well, we need to know if you know a Marilyn Brenson. Yeah, I do.
He verified that he did know Marilyn and that they had been in an ongoing situation.
When was the last time you saw her? A month ago. Why? Did you know she's missing? When did this happen?
He denied any knowledge of what had happened to her.
Hold on. You guys don't think I had anything to do with this, do you?
Well, I don't know. Show us.
One of the first things that they want to do is find out whether or not he has an alibi.
Where were you 2 nights ago on July 15th? I was at work. You can call and ask my boss about that.
However, before detectives can look into Dante's alibi, they get a call informing them that a maintenance man has just found a gun at the apartment complex where the Brinsons reside.
You the one that called?
Yes, sir. I sure did. It's right over there behind the bush.
The gun didn't show evidence that it had been outside for a long time.
The detectives didn't have a body or any slugs to compare the gun to, but they decided to take it for testing anyway.
I was looking at this. How stupid can somebody be? You're going to take a gun and throw it in the garbage can. How stupid are you? I mean, don't people usually take a gun, you throw that in the river somewhere, the Hudson River? I mean, to throw, that's just stupid. Yeah, he was a jerk.
Way.
You hear any gunfire the night of July 15th?
I did.
Where'd you hear that?
Just over there. Residents of the apartment complex came forward and explained that they had heard a single gunshot come from the parking lot that night.
Searching the area, detectives uncover what could be another critical clue.
Over here. Investigators were able to find some blood in the parking lot in a parking spot very near the front door to the Brinson's apartment.
It wasn't an overwhelming amount of blood as was inside the car, but there was a few spots.
The police collect samples of the blood to see if it's a DNA match for the blood found in Marilyn's car. The detectives also asked Marilyn's children for a DNA sample to determine if the blood was their mother's.
The family was very receptive to whatever we asked of them, and they would help us as much as they could.
I told the police from that if they ever needed anything to contact me. I wanted to know what happened.
But Marilyn's family doesn't know that devastating new evidence is about to surface. Evidence that will push the Brinson family to the brink.
It was really hard to hear and it was really hard to swallow. You want to believe
City discovered the blood-soaked vehicle of missing 47-year-old Marilyn Brinson. Both police and the Brinson family fear the worst.
It's the amount of blood and the amount of soak through the carpeting and the padding underneath it that led investigators to conclude that that individual would have had to have sought medical care or they would have been dead.
But until the forensic analysis is complete, police can't say for sure that the blood in the car is Marilyn's.
It's not like on TV where they do the DNA overnight. It's going to take some time.
At that point, the only persons of interest police have identified in the case are Marilyn's husband, John Brinson, and a former co-worker of hers she had been having an affair with named Dante.
even though John was the last person to see her alive, he was forthcoming in a statement to police, and he willingly offered up his DNA for analysis.
He also was open about his knowledge of Marilyn's affair and the pain that it caused him. And at this point, to police, he seemed like he was telling the truth and genuinely worried about his wife.
He was telling them about her having an affair and all the pain it caused him. Keep on looking and listening. Who's the narcissist in this relationship? Is it her or is it him?
However, detectives haven't gotten the same vibe from Marilyn's lover, Dante.
Dante lived close to where the car was found.
But until investigators can get DNA results back or confirm Dante's alibi, there's not much else they can do.
On July 26th, detectives received the results of the DNA testing.
The lab is able to come to a number of conclusions. And I think first and clearly the most important is that the blood in the vehicle is Marilyn Brinson's blood.
The fact that the blood belongs to Marilyn further cements their suspicion that Marilyn Brinson is dead.
Forensic investigators were able to determine through measuring the blood that was found in the floorboard on the mat inside the vehicle that a human being could not have lost that volume of blood and survived.
I don't think I had a worse day since that day. It's like my heart was just ripped out of my chest.
It was really hard to hear and it was really hard to swallow. You want to believe that she's okay, she's gonna come back.
Marilyn's death hits her husband John especially hard.
When Marilyn died, John went into a pit of despair. And like a lot of people grieving the loss of a loved one, John turned to alcohol to numb his pain.
He would drink a lot. He would drink to the point to where he would get drunk. And then I remember him calling out my mother's name.
This man's suffering, my dad's suffering, because he just lost his wife.
While Marilyn's family grieves, police are desperately searching to...
No, John should actually get the Academy Award for the Best Actor.
to find her remains.
You start speculating. If I was a killer and I wanted to get rid of a body, maybe it would be somewhere near where they dumped the vehicle. So we just start looking places where we speculate they may want to dump a body.
In order to narrow down the area they must search, detectives turn to the analysis of the mud collected from the outside of Marilyn's vehicle.
In this report, they began talking about diatoms.
Diatoms are basically microorganisms that are usually found near or in free-flowing fresh water bodies.
And upon examining the mud, they were able to determine that it had diatoms in it that are only found in the Missouri River.
Which might have been a good place to hide or dispose of a body.
While the report gives the probable location of Marilyn's body, the information still doesn't tell detectives who killed her. Fortunately, they are able to rule out one suspect.
We checked his alibi. We followed up on what he told us. He had one of the best alibis I'd ever heard in my life.
He had been working that night and into the morning hours, was actually locked in his place of employment and unable to leave.
But no sooner have investigators closed the door on Dante, a new door opens up, revealing even more skeletons in the Brinson's closet.
I think I was in shock. Because there's so much.
He was messing around even before we all moved down there, and I think my mom just got tired of it.
Could my mom have staged her death, or was she actually dead?
It's now been...
Now you heard what the son said? He had been cheating on her before they moved to Kansas. And they feel that the mother just got sick and tired of it. Now, why do women cheat? I know women. I'm a woman. Normally, if you treat a woman right, you taking care of her, doing what you're supposed to do, that woman ain't going nowhere. She's not going to be looking nowhere else. So when a woman usually cheat, it's because the guy is inattentive. First, or because he's a cheater. He's inattentive to her. He treats her like she's a piece of the furniture or wallpaper. You know how when you're used to something, you just come in the house and you walk right past it because you're so used to it? Or because she's sick and tired of watching him lusting after some other female. You can't go nowhere with him because he's always looking and lusting somewhere else. So, hey, like the Bible says, if a man is looking at a woman with lust or desire in his heart, that's the same as committing the act of cheating. You already committed the act in your heart. So she figures, yo, son, every time I see you looking and lusting after some other woman, I'm not going to get upset. I'm just going to go out there and call my side piece, my other boo, and we're going to make it happen. I don't get upset anymore. That's how a lot of women are feeling now. You go ahead and keep lusting after somebody else. Go ahead. Keep disrespecting me.
2 weeks since Marilyn Brinson disappeared.
Although we can't find her body, we are convinced beyond a reasonable doubt that she is not only dead, but the victim of a homicide.
But who killed her?
Oh, but wait. Sheila True Love, I'm not going to sit up there and go get me no side piece. I'm not going to get me no boo. Sheila True Love just divorced you behind to kick you out. Because you're not going to sit up here and disrespect me. And I'm not going to cheapen myself by going out there just because you cheat, I'm going to go cheat. Oh, hell no. Like I said, my body is sacred. My body is nobody's public toilet. And I'm not going to cheapen myself just because he chose to cheapen himself. Not this girl. But like I said also, you don't have a lot of women in this world today who have common sense. They really don't. I know I'm unique.
Crime's initial prime suspect, Marilyn's ex-lover Dante, has already been ruled out.
That really only leaves Marilyn's husband, John Brinson, as the person of interest. But at this point, he's been extremely cooperative and looks every bit like the bereaved husband.
Then on July 31st, 2002, 15 days into the investigation, another resident from the Brinson's apartment complex contacts detectives with information about the days leading up to Marilyn's disappearance.
The neighbor said he'd seen John Brinson a day or two before Marilyn's disappearance, and John clearly seemed agitated about something.
John believed that Marilyn was going to be leaving him, but he told the resident that that wasn't going to happen because he wasn't going to let it happen.
You see how they could dish it out, but they can't take it? He thought she was going to leave him for the other guy. He didn't stop to think about all that crap when he was cheating on her left and right and constantly. He was cheating on her to a point where she just got sick and tired. She was ready to bounce, or so he thought. Yeah, they could always shovel that mess out to women, but when we flip the script, yo, son, now what's up? They can't handle it.
So at this point in the investigation, law enforcement had begun to be suspicious of John Brinson.
Hoping to learn more about John and Marilyn's marriage, detectives again turned to the couple's children, starting with 23-year-old Tyrone.
Okay, now here comes the good part. Now you're going to see, why do women cheat? Is it because they are narcissistic? Let's listen in.
You describe your mom and dad's relationship.
Growing up, things was great. But then in the last few years, things kind of changed.
That becomes your mom and Dante's relationship.
No, for that.
According to Tyrone, the trouble started long before Dante entered the picture.
My father had cheated on my mom.
How do you know?
Me and my mom caught him.
I actually remember that night pretty clearly. We found the vehicle that he was driving, and we found the motel where he was in.
It put her in a really, I want to say, a dark place, but she just was, it made her upset. It made her angry.
Somebody stab you in your back, somebody betray you. Is that going to make you angry? Is that going to put you in a dark space? Of course it is. She sat up here and trusted this jester, this professional fool. She trusted him. She built a life with him, a family with him. And he could sit there and cut her throat like that? Yeah.
But according to Tyrone, his mother refused to give up on her marriage.
It wasn't no marriage.
Are we going to talk about this or what?
What do you want me to say? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's not good enough. I can't just forget about what happened.
She confronted him. They got into a big argument, but they kind of worked through that.
Things were going pretty good. Things were going pretty smooth.
You see how they said they sat down to try to fix this? No, there ain't no fixing nothing. You're sorry. What can I say? He says, I'm sorry. You're not sorry, nigga. You sorry you got caught. That's what you sorry about. And then they said, oh, it looked like they tried to patch that up. I told you, freak that nonsense. Because one, the trust is gone. That's gone. Number two, she stayed. And when a man sees that you stay, he's going to cheat on you again and again and again. Because it's like they say, yeah, where's she going? She ain't going no damn where. At least that's what he thought. She showed his ass.
Once John and Marilyn became grandparents, things really seemed to be back on even keel.
They really seem to have worked through their troubles.
But Tyrone believes everything changed once his mother went to work.
During this time, it is believed that John's cheating ways resurfaced, which not only angered Marilyn, but drove her into the arms of Dante, who seemed like the...
You heard that? He went right back to his old cheating ways. And that's what drove her into the arms. Okay, I rest my case.
only man who genuinely wanted to be with her.
It probably felt good to have someone show her the love that any woman deserves. Even though the act is wrong in itself, I don't fault her for that.
Tyrone tells police that when his father found out about Dante, he demanded Marilyn call off the affair.
Now tell me he got nerve. I'm at a loss for words here. He has a lot of freaking nerve when he found out he wanted me to quit. No, baby, no. Just like if I wasn't a Christian, I know for a fact that if I cheated, I'm going to have a man who's going to want to keep me. He's going to want to keep me. It's not going to be no hit it and quit it. And if I'm cheating with another man, if he needs me, I have to be there for him. Now, if my husband need me and my side piece need me, I'm going to my side piece. I'm going to take care of him over this clown that I'm married to. Supposedly, it ain't no marriage anymore, but hey, this circus clown. I'm going to definitely take care of my side piece. Because I wouldn't have a side piece if this clown over here was treating me right.
But she refused.
My mom was more confident in herself. She would put my dad down. Whatever, you've been doing this, now I'm doing this.
Well, now you see how it feel.
She would throw this man in his face.
And that's when the abuse started to happen.
Show you how it feel.
Her having a boyfriend.
Now you see what happened? When he saw he couldn't control her, and he can't, What he says is no proper reasoning. What did he do? He reached out to use that physical abuse. He struck her. He took his hand and he hit her. And that's when she should have walked over to the freaking whatever and grabbed a lamp and tore his head up. She should wait until his back is turned and pick up whatever she can. I hope she had one of those iron cast skillets. She should have went in that kitchen, got that, and bust his MFing brains out. Now put your hand on me again, sucker. You have to let these clowns know the first time they hit you, you got to fight back. Because if you don't, it's going to continue to happen. You fight back, get down to that court, get an order of protection, and have this piece of garbage removed. After you tear his head up with an iron cast skillet.
Rubbed him real wrong, and made the ugly person come out. He obviously could not control himself.
I would hear stuff when my dad was putting his hands on her. He was beating her up pretty good.
Yep.
And wanted to get back quick.
She would always tell me, Tyrone, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. She would always say it. And her spirit was broken. She didn't want to deal with it anymore. And I will never forget what my mom told me the day before she went missing. I was sitting in the passenger seat of my car, and my mom was looking down at me. And she says, Tyrone, if I decide to leave in the morning, no one is going to be able to find me. And when she said that to me, I just knew she was done. She was hurting so bad.
Based on his final conversation with his mother, Tyrone admits that when she went missing the next morning, he and his siblings thought it was all part of a grand plan to be free of her husband once and for all.
Could my mom have staged her death? Or was she actually dead? She needed to get away. And I thought maybe this is what she was able to achieve.
Tyrone, do you really think it's possible your mother would have staged her own death? She could have been rid of your father once and for all?
Yeah, I think so, dude.
So why didn't you tell us all this before?
She's down to believe it was true, man. Our family just falling apart like that.
However, listening to Tyrone, detectives take an entirely different view of Marilyn's situation.
The issue with domestic violence for the abuser is control. So if they feel that the person they're attempting to control is not under their control anymore, that's when they get more aggressive and bad things happen.
You see what it's all about? When they want to abuse you because they feel they can't control you. They want to dominate you. They want to beat you into submission. No, we're going to have to flip the script on this one. Always go shopping, girls. Get yourself a big iron cast skillet. Or if you don't have lamps around your house, get some.
Adding fuel to this theory is another report from the crime lab. While examining Marilyn's vehicle, CSIs were able to uncover a crucial piece of evidence.
On the back of the vehicle, there was a muddy/bloody handprint.
The blood came back a match for Marilyn Brenson.
And since the partial print contains Marilyn's blood, it could potentially lead police to her killer.
There was enough contour that would allow us to give a positive idea about that handprint.
Detectives bring John Brinson back down to the station and ask him to supply them with one additional piece of potential evidence.
I can't hold you. You're not under arrest. But I need to get a palm print from you, though. Sure, no problem.
Detectives had already gotten fingerprints and DNA from John, but with the discovery of the palm print on the car, they were hoping that this test would give them the answers they were looking for.
This is Riley Archie.
Don't miss the season premiere of For My Man, Thursday at 9 on TV1.
For my man. Oh, please.
It's early August 2002, and Kansas City detectives believe they are on the brink of solving the disappearance and presumed murder of 47-year-old Marilyn Brinson. Their prime suspect is Marilyn's husband, 49-year-old John Brinson.
My parents' marriage at that time was pretty tumultuous. It was not in a good place.
There were allegations of physical abuse. There were allegations of infidelity. They were in conflict, and the relationship was on the decline, if not falling apart.
But until detectives can concretely tie John to Marilyn's blood-soaked vehicle, their case is purely circumstantial. Fortunately, the crime lab has just uncovered a clue that could be the smoking gun detectives need.
On the trunk of her car is a muddy, bloody palm print, and the blood contained in that palm print belongs to Marilyn Brinson.
The entire case was riding on whether or not the palm print that the crime lab found in the mud was a match for John's.
In fictional television shows, fingerprints are everywhere. They get fingerprints off of all kinds of things that just don't happen in real life. I've worked many, many years in homicide and had very few fingerprint hits. So even when you get fingerprints, sometimes they aren't of value.
On the afternoon of August 8th, investigators received the results of John Brinson's handprint analysis.
The handprint that was found on the trunk lid proved to be John Brinson's handprint.
And that isn't all.
The fingernail scrapings that was taken that night from John had diatoms in it, and the lab was able to say that they were consistent with the diatoms from the mud sample with the fingerprint in the blood. When we get a lab report saying that, yes, we have identified this print, and this is her blood that's in that fingerprint, along with river mud, that's almost like they're handing you a script saying this is what happened.
However, there is one huge piece of evidence that investigators still don't have.
The fact that we didn't have Marilyn's body was a big hurdle.
Anytime you don't have a body, that concrete thing to show a jury, that's going to be a challenge.
And though investigators found what they believe is the murder weapon, without a body, it's hard to tie it concretely to the case.
Law enforcement, through their investigation, realized that there isn't anything specifically linking that particular firearm to the crime.
So before they formally charge John Brinson with murder, detectives make one final push to find Marilyn's remains.
Just for the integrity of our case, we want to find Marilyn's body. But beyond that, there's a human being out there that has not been put in their final place. There's a family out there who are wondering what's going on with that.
The idea of not knowing where she's at just blows my mind.
Unfortunately for both police and Marilyn's family, after 3 weeks of searching, they are still unable to find her body.
River is constantly ebbing and flowing and changing. So if she was on the edge of the river or in the river, there's a limited amount of time you're going to have to find evidence.
Prosecutors decide to roll the dice.
They take the case to the grand jury to see if they can secure a murder indictment against John Brinson based on the evidence they have.
We wanted to kind of get a feel for whether the jury would consider finding someone guilty knowing that there was no body.
The gamble pays off.
John Brinson was indicted by the Clay County Grand Jury.
On August 13th, 2002, detectives placed John Brinson under arrest for the murder of his wife, Marilyn.
Yay!
When I found out that he was arrested, I was just and angry and mad. You know, that he did it. At the same time, I didn't want to believe that he did it.
I kept thinking there's got to be more to the story.
When the case finally goes to trial in October of 2006, prosecutors are worried the jury will echo those same concerns.
As long as we don't have a body, there's always going to be that back of the brain thought, well, what if?
In their opening statements, prosecutors argue that even without Marilyn's body, there's no doubt what happened to her.
On the night of the crime, I believe they were arguing in front of the apartment inside the vehicle. Tempers flared.
He thought she was likely to leave, and he wasn't going to let her.
John shot Marilyn in her car, in the passenger seat, in the parking lot, right out in front of their house.
These are usually actions of emotion, especially in domestic violence. And I have no doubt that the second they commit this crime, that they are instantly, oh my God, what have I done?
Prosecutors say that after shooting Marilyn, John hid the gun in the bushes.
What a
When people
dumbass.
commit a crime of this nature, they aren't thinking that clearly. So usually their attempts to stage and alter and hide evidence usually end up causing more evidence.
Prosecutors believe John then drove to the nearby Missouri River and disposed of Marilyn's body, an assertion supported by the diatoms found in the palm prints and blood collected at the crime scene. After dumping his wife's body in the river, John then drove to the wooded area on the east side of town and tried to set Marilyn's car on fire.
The fact that the car did not actually ignite was great because a very large portion of our case was associated with that car. The physical evidence we got off that car proved to be key.
When it's their turn, the defense fires back by putting forth the theory that Marilyn could still be alive.
The defense attorney tried to argue that she may have run off on her own and was still alive and just had basically abandoned her family.
But will the fact that police never found Marilyn's body be enough for an acquittal? On October 30th, 2006, the jury returns with their verdict.
Guilty, guilty, guilty.
Yes.
He knew it was over.
Applause, applause, applause. Now, they said he tried to burn her car. He put like a rag inside the place where you pour the gas, and he lit that, hoping that would blow up the car. That happens like that in the movies, sweetheart. It don't happen like that in real life. Now, what was wrong with his dumb ASS getting some goddamn gasoline and dousing the whole car, the inside of the car, the outside of the car with gasoline, and then set it on fire? Wouldn't that have been more productive? More effective? But he's a dumbhead. Guilty, guilty, guilty.
That was the happiest days of all of our lives.
I hear you.
The happiest days.
The judge sentences John to life in prison.
When he went to prison, I was relieved. At the same time, I was kind of hurt because, I just lost both my parents.
Yeah.
But for some family members, they feel the full truth has yet to be uncovered.
Hold up.
For me,
Let's see. What happened?
He returns with their verdict.
Guilty, guilty, guilty.
He knew it was over. That was the happiest days of all of our lives. The happiest days.
The judge sentences John to life in prison.
When he went to prison, I was relieved. At the same time, I was kind of hurt because, I just lost both my parents.
But for some family members, they feel the full truth has yet to be uncovered.
For me, I honestly don't know what happened. I don't allow myself to draw conclusions, so I just accept that something happened.
On February 3rd, 2017, John Brinson dies in prison.
Good.
He died of liver cancer.
Wow, that's beautiful. He died of liver cancer. Like they say, God don't like ugly, honey, and karma never loses anybody's address. He wasn't even in jail that long before he kicked the bucket. Good. So anyway, my tubies, don't you feel wonderful? I know I do. You always have a choice. Choose wisely. I love you. Bye for now.